we hear a lot about changing our story. And once we change our story, we can change our entire life experience. But the key to changing your story is to understanding first and foremost what your story is. What is it that you believe at your core? A lot of times that is the most difficult thing to ever actually realize and come to terms with and sort out and find and really dig up. You first have to understand what it is that you truly believe. What is the story that has been embedded and accepted into your subconscious, into the core of your very being, into your natural responses, your unrehearsed reactions. That tells you what your story is, what you believe at the core of your being, at the back of your mind, at the base of your subconscious grounds. What you have been ingrained into you to believe, what you have either been taught or what you have accepted, and usually both, what you have been taught and have accepted, because it starts from childhood. Our stories begin at the very beginning of our story, and it begins to shape and form the rest of our story until we realize this is not the way that I would like my story to go. This is not the story that I wish to live. This is not the story that I wish to write. Then we begin to move into the idea that it's possible to change our story. Now we have that understanding, but we must now move into how to truly do that. How do you change your story? What's been embedded into the core of your being, of your very being? How do you sift through that and shift that to something new? There is a way to do that. And one thing that you can begin to do to find out what your story is right now, what is your truth right now at your base, at your core foundation, is to realize and start to pay close attention to the thoughts that you have when something good happens in your life. What immediate thoughts follow that good news or that good experience? For most of us, it's the idea of what negative may follow. A simple example is maybe getting a house, getting a new home, getting a new apartment, getting a new place to live that you've been desiring. And once that new place, the first step maybe comes with the finding the right place, finding a place that's affordable and that's acceptable and agreeable with all of your desires and all of the things that are on your list for where you'd like to live. This is an example of just if you're looking for a place to live, you're desiring to move, and then you find that perfect place. What is your immediate thought? As soon as you find it, and the excitement of finding it and the possibility of obtaining it, once that immediate emotion and experience of that actuality, of that fact that here it is and maybe I'm going to get it, once that excitement begins to pass and once it fades, then what is your next thought? Is it something negative? Is it a reason why you're not going to get it? Is it a reason why you don't deserve to get it? Or once you get it, you fill out the application and you're approved and you're ready to move in, what thoughts come up? Am I going to be able to maintain it? How long will I be here? Will it really be what I expect it to be? Are there negative thoughts that come up after a positive experience? You have to begin to pay attention to your thoughts. You have to begin to tune in and think about what you're thinking about. That will begin to lay the foundation for you to realize what your story is. Your story is attached to those thoughts that come up immediately, unrehearsed, just natural reactions. That tells you what your core story is, what your core beliefs are, what thoughts recur, especially and particularly after an exciting or happy event or happening, something good. What follows that immediately? For most of us, for many of us, it's something negative. It's something telling us why it's not going to work, why it's not going to turn out the way we expected or hope for it to. And that is attached to a story that tells you and that has told you and that you have grown to accept and believe and to hold on to and embrace of not being worthy, of not deserving, of the possibility of not receiving, of there being no possibilities for you to receive, of there being this rehearsed failure that's just what's natural and normal. Your story tells you this is what it is. And you will begin to realize what your story is when you begin to listen to what your thoughts are telling you. And when you begin to disagree with what your thoughts are telling you. When you begin to decide, I don't choose that. I don't wish for that to be true. I don't wish for it to be a failure. I don't wish for it to be a disappointment. There has to be another way. As soon as you begin to shift those thoughts and begin to disagree with those thoughts, the story begins to crumble. That foundation begins to be broken up and the possibility of laying a new foundation begins. It's necessary to have somebody walk you through that process usually. It's usually difficult and it's hard for us to see and decipher what's really happening because it's become so normal and so natural that it just feels like this is what it is and this is what it will always be. So it's important to have a coach or to have someone to walk beside you, a partner, to help you to see what you may not be able to so easily recognize because it's become so normal for you. We have the power and the ability to change our stories. And once we change our stories, which are our core foundational beliefs, once we begin to change those, which is directly linked and attached to our stories that we believe. So once we change our story, our thoughts change. Once we change our thoughts, our stories change, and our experiences soon follow. When we change our thoughts, we change our stories. When we change our stories, we change our experiences. And for more information on that, for more insight, contact me, reach out, schedule a consultation call, and let me help guide you and let me help design a plan for you. The consultation is free, and the plan we will design during the consultation. You make the decision of if you're ready to walk through that plan alone or if you'd like for me to walk alongside you. That comes next. But the first step is making the plan and seeing how it's possible for you to change and uproot those thoughts that have been holding you back and rewrite the story that you've come to believe to change your experience. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Change your thoughts, change your life. Let me help you do it.